Hey, hello everybody. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. This is a little informal, but this is going to be like the first test video sort of here in my training series, or the first video, I guess. It's not really a test video, but in my little building a website using AI. And it's going to start very, very basic, but here in part one, it's basically just going to be building like a basic layout, some menu items using probably Bootstrap. Um, a couple different pages within the site, and I'm just sort of going to quickly show you how to do that, just using static HTML and Bootstrap. Um, and then if you have like a web host or somewhere to put it, you can upload it to that, and everything will work. So again, it's just going to be very basic. There'll be some tweaking and customization work, which I'll explain. Like if you have a picture or background or something you want in there, I'm not going to really deal with all that. I'll talk about it and I'll have some placeholders, but uh, but I'll let you deal with that. I just want to sort of show you how to do it, how to build the structure using Cursor AI. So if you haven't already done it, go ahead and download Cursor, the editor from Cursor.com. It's free, to start. If you really get into it, want to use it more, they do have like a $20 a month sort of base package, and then if you need more, of course, you can go up from there. So go ahead and get that. You don't have to really use it here if you're just going to watch me and follow along, but that's where you get the editor. And basically, for people who might be developers already or looking into it, basically Cursor is just a VS Code um, with AI sort of baked into it. So let me, and then again, this is going to be sort of informal. I just have my main intro screen that you saw. I have this view, and then I have my browser view, and I'm just capturing the whole screen, because I'll be using multiple windows. So yeah, you'll see my crazy infinity view of my OBS here. So let me go ahead and bring up Cursor just to sort of stop that craziness a little bit. And so really you just need to create like a folder on your desktop or wherever. So I went ahead and created one here called personal web, and or you can go up to file and open folder. But I already have it created, so just click that. And that basically just opens that folder. This is basically sort of the equivalent of the root of your website. So Cursor, the chat prompt may not show up right away, but there's a little button here um, that you can click and toggle the AI pane. And then there's like different panes for like the bottom, but which has like terminals and different outputs and problems, different dialogues. And then there's the sidebar over here, which is where the files will be. So here, the AI pane, you just really talk to the AI just like it's a person. So you can get real detailed in the spec of like a website, but I'm just gonna, again, talk to it like it's human and tell it what kind of website I want. So I'm just gonna say I'm building a personal portfolio website. I would like the front page to contain a welcome message from me. I'll just use my nickname here, DC Entropy, as well as a paragraph or two which tells the viewer a little bit about me. So there we go. I'm going to tell it this site. I probably could have said this first. This website will be straight HTML and CSS with Bootstrap as the CSS framework for styling. Let's use darker colors. Dark mode. I like dark mode better. Dark mode for the website. Put a placeholder image for where a picture of me will go. And I might show a little bit of that too, but I would also like, let's say 3 more pages. Number 1, so I'll have the home, portfolio. Oh, it's actually going to be more than 3. Portfolio. Let's see. I already have the about me sort of on the front page. What else? Maybe services, since I do websites and consult a little bit. Services. I'll just tell it to do IT related. In portfolio, I'll do like design, like web design. And I'll do a blog page. Just create a design with placeholder, like faux, F-A-U-X, pseudo for, those who don't know what faux means. Faux data. Maybe 3 posts with image placeholders. And a contact page. Like a few more pages. So home, page I described above. And it usually, it's pretty good about sort of making assumptions and sort of know what you're talking about, but I always try to be a little, as specific as I can be without going over the top. So home, portfolio, web design, projects, makeup stuff with placeholder images and text describing website. Same as above, basically. You can be as formal or as informal as you want. A lot of people do like full-on spec things where they discuss it with like another AI like GPT, and then they come up with a full formal spec, where they break down like what kind of server it's running on, what kind of database you might need, what programming language. And I'm going to go ahead and tell it the programming language. And let me sort of put some dashes here so it sort of knows that these are separate pages. Blog page and contact page. Just create a fake form for now. Yeah, so that's pretty much the page structure. I covered the images, what to sort of put on each page. I got the bootstrap in there. Let's see, well, yeah, I think that's probably, okay, let me describe the nav menu a little bit. Make the nav menu have a image logo placeholder in the top left with the page names, with the pages as each menu item. That should work. Linking to them, of course, it'll make that assumption, I'm sure. Linking to them, make the mouse over, color. Let's do blue with white text, white bold text, and rounded edge buttons. I've taken a little long here, but so I'm sort of curious. That should probably, let's real quick. Let's add a footer on each page with copyright 2025 DC Entropy. Eventually, we'll include this into an include file once we get into like the PHP section of the site. But I'm gonna go ahead and tell it no PHP for now. That'll come in the future. Create this layout and also create a readme.markdown file. And that's sort of good if you have to open up new chat sessions. Once this chat gets exhausted, it at the bottom it'll tell you like to open up a new chat for better performance. So when you do that, that next chat's not going to really know what you did. Now you can tell it to analyze the current contents of the site, and it will go through and figure it out. But it's always good to sort of have like a README file in there, especially if you have like future stuff planned, so you don't have to go back and like retype it, repeat yourself. So okay, let's see what happens here. This is the first time I've done this in a little bit, so let's see what happens. Just hit enter. And it will literally create the pages, each page. So there's the index. It's just popping it out there. Once it's finished, you'll see it show up on the left hand side here. There it is. So you have that. As you see it pulled in the Bootstrap here using the Bootstrap CDN code. So you didn't have to download any of that or put it in your web anywhere. Just you can see, I think it's actually using even a placeholder image website that does use for placeholder images. So that's sort of cool. I wonder if I could actually specify a placeholder of a person, placeholder, a website to placeholder. I wonder if it gets that detailed using that site. So it's okay. There's that. Now it's going on to the portfolio page. It's literally creating the whole site. Services page. A little bit longer with the additional sections and so on. It's putting some. Looks like it's putting some different plans in there. Services, DC Entropy, and then now blog. I think I told it to put like 3 fake posts or whatever in there. It's pretty good at coming up with like pseudo stuff, and based on what kind of site, it actually even sort of puts in the like intelligent pseudo text, faux text. I can see it going by. It's not just like placeholder. It can actually, if I wanted it to be, I could have got a little more detailed. I could have actually put in the legit text that I wanted. Like write me up a section on like the services I offer. Here are the services, and give a little blurb about each one, and then you can tweak it later. And then now the contact page, so it's almost good. Let me bring up my Finder. Finder, there we are. Desktop, personal web. So here when it's done, I mean, it's a static HTML. You can literally just open it in the browser, no server needed. So that's it. Oh, nope, style CSS. So it's actually even creating a separate style file. That rhymed. And with all the card colors and everything like that. So like I said, it's pretty good at sort of doing best practices when it comes to like web design. So styles is done. Dark theme style, custom navigation. Okay, and then now it's creating the README markdown file that I asked for. And I wonder if I'll actually say PHP in the future. We'll find out here in a minute. Wow, that's a lot more detailed than I thought. Good. So there we go. Perfect. I successfully created a complete personal portfolio website for DC Entropy and all the features you requested. Here's what I built, and it sort of breaks it all down for you. Yeah. So let me go ahead and open it. Haha, I'm nervous. My computer's a little slow because it's encoding as we talk, so very slow actually. Need to figure that out. I had my other monitor off, but it shouldn't have put it. Oh no, it put it on my other monitor, even though it was turned off. It shouldn't have done that, so my bad. So placeholders, it doesn't look like they're working very well for the logo or anything, but so you can see though, it did the dark design, like I said. I'm DC Entropy, passionate IT professional web developer dedicated to creating innovative digital solutions and specialized in modern web technologies and delivering exceptional user experience. So the view my work, that links off to the portfolio. So they put it, and it links to get in touch. So it looks like the colors are a little off here. So um, I'll tell it to do that, fix that in a minute. These placeholders, even though I thought it was loading it for like a special placeholder site, it just sort of put in like a fake domain via placeholder.com. And maybe that was a real site, but maybe they've been destroyed because cursor people using it. So yeah, so you click between the pages. If it had a placeholder, you would see an image here. But yeah, so it tells what technologies were used in the site, so on, or like tags, I guess. And then services, again, you would see a image. It's broken right now. And then just sort of what services I offer. And a blog about the author. See, I didn't tell it to do any of this, but it did it logically, so that's sort of cool. About the creator, there's like the featured post categories, and then the last two posts before that, read more. Of course, that's not there because I didn't ask for that specific functionality. And then subscribe to my newsletter, which I didn't ask for, but that's a welcome little addition there. And then the contact page. So that's nice. It has my email, phone number, location, business hours, social media links. So actually, I'm pretty impressed, of some of the assumptions that it made to sort of build it out in a more robust way. So placeholders, I wish they would have worked a little bit better, but they didn't. So, but when it comes to putting in image placeholders, let's go back to cursor. Once you have sort of the images sort of sized out to the layout and everything, you can create like an images folder here. And then let me take my Finder and let me find an actual image of me or something that I can upload into the. Actually, I'll just do it right here. Well, no, because I don't want my details getting out. So my Facebook stuff and everything. I'm sure you can find me, but so I'll just pull my Facebook avatar. Just make it my name. DC Entropy. It's also, and I'll go ahead and save that directly into the personal web folder that we're in under the images folder. Have cursor up there, and you should see it drop in there once I hit save. And there it is. So now I can say, I could go back to cursor and sort of tweak it now. So let me tweak. So one, and you can do any number. So one on the front page, I put my Facebook image in the image folder. Use that instead of placeholder. Excuse my bad typing. And there was also, okay, view my work, get in touch are a little hard to read when you mouse over them. So just tell it that. View my work and get in touch are hard to read when I mouse over them. So that's 2, 3. Let's see. So it's going to put my picture here. Oh, I want to make the menu fixed, so it's fixed to the top. Make the top menu fixed when scrolling. Portfolio. Actually, instead of these placeholders, I'm going to tell it to use like icons. So on the portfolio page, use Bootstrap web icons instead of placeholder images. I'll probably do the same with services. Yep. You don't have to number them or whatever, but I do just to sort of break it down. Same on the services page instead of placeholders. I know that'll do a good job because it'll have like a mobile phone and like a web icon and have like a consulting, a handshake, or something like a cloud, technical support, so on. So it'll do a real good job on that page. Blog was pretty good. I don't have really any placeholder images. So I'll just leave that as is since the page is pretty good already. And then contact is pretty good. Okay, yeah, the contact information, I'll tell it to use icons. So 6 on contact page, use icons in the contact information section. And social media, because those are, it has broken ones there too. So this page should be completely overhauled, pretty much ready. So DC Entropy logo, I'll go ahead and have it just use some kind of icon up here as well. So I put 7 things here in one request, so let's see how it does. So in the header for the logo, just use, and I'm going to let it pick, just use an appropriate icon for the logo. And then you can tell it like make note in the README MD of these updates and include that future updates will include image tweaking and PHP, which is where we're going to go next, PHP coding for the header and footer. But that's for the next, I'm going to tell it next video I'm making. Say hi to the viewers. It didn't say hi yet. I'll probably say it at the end. So yeah, so it's going through and doing everything I told it to do. It found the image. I didn't even have to tell it the name, dcentropy.jpg. Navigation fixed button hover readability, which it did. But we'll see how it works, but hero section, portfolio page with Bootstrap icons. So it had to add the Bootstrap icons from the CDN, from Bootstrap CDN. How long have I been going? 25 minutes, so yeah, I'm going to wrap it up after this, and I like to try to keep these around 25, 30 minutes. The PHP one probably won't take as long because we're going to take the existing site as you see it now and make it more PHP driven. And we might even start a little bit of the database portion of it, but I'll have to go a little bit into the hosting part of that for people who aren't super familiar with hosting. I use Hostinger, so I'll probably just create like a fresh site there, and I'll put my Hostinger link for those who need to sign up or whatever. It's pretty cheap if you just get the basic plan, but that'll allow you to create just like empty PHP websites that have the code ready to go and all the plugins for like the SQLite and stuff. Now, SQLite's going to be a little more complicated, so I'm not sure. I'm going to have to figure out how that's going to work. Because I'm not going to connect directly to the server through SSH. So yeah, that should be an interesting one. But that's for the next video. I'm just talking here while this is processing. And this gets faster once you have the header and the footers like in the include files, because it just has to change it in one place instead of like 5, 6 different pages. So and depending on which model you use, I think I have it set to auto right now. Yeah, auto. Depending on which model you use, it can be faster or slower. Honestly, I've noticed Grok and some of the big ones are a little bit slower, whereas if you choose auto, it'll just, if it's just basic coding like this, any model can do stuff like this. So it can, pick a faster model and just get it done really quick. Update icon by code. Like it looks like it's going to use like a code slash, probably sort of like a slash dot type icon, maybe. We'll see. And we should almost be done. Blog page. Okay, has to do it there too. Doing some additional things on previous pages. So this was a big request, granted. Most people would have broken it up into 2 or 3 requests and viewed it, tweaked it. And if we had the browser up, we could actually be refreshing now and see it also. Now it's just going to update the README Markdown with all the changes. And it's done. So let's go back to the browser here. Go back to the home page. There I am. Nice rounded picture. Yeah, I've photoshopped a little bit. I don't look that decent right now. I'm out in the hot garage and at the moment and scorching hot weather, so a little sweaty. Doesn't yeah, it looks like it fixed it a little bit here. This one's still a little bit off, but this one looks good. Portfolio. Yeah, so you put nice things in here, e-commerce, corporate website, building, mobile app, analytics dashboard, high converting landing pages. That's like a shout out, yell out, and creative portfolio website. So it has the copyright down here. Services, did the same basic thing, put some nice icons in there. I could have told it this is the first step too, and it would have just done it. So I thought the placeholders would work, but these still don't, but that's okay. But you still have this nice page and the contact page. And when it comes time with PHP, you can connect this up to just a simple PHP form. I usually use PHP Mailer, which is a little library that you can put like an SMTP server into and stuff. That gets a little technical, but or you can just use the built-in PHP Mailer, but it doesn't always get good deliverability when you're sending it from a web host. So there's a lot more nerdy stuff behind the scenes you got to do. But I can at least show you how to do the code and stuff. It may not work for you right away, but oh, that's for you to figure out with your AI buddy. So, and real quick before I finish this up, Cursor, you can actually, if you are connected directly to a server when the PHP stuff starts, I'm probably going to have to do that. I'll probably end up putting this on my own personal development server, where I can connect better through the shell. And Cursor can actually run commands for you directly through the terminal, create a database. It can actually even install the MySQL for you, install Nginx, create a virtual host. It's that powerful. It's not just limited to web and coding. Um, so actually, with one of the many different websites I've dealt with, I actually had on one of my virtual servers that actually went through and checked the security of the website, the permissions. It basically did everything to do a full security audit of the entire server, including like the PHP code, the database, ports being open, so on and so forth, and it helped me lock down the entire virtual server. So that's how powerful, Cursor is. So gonna go ahead and finish this video up. Hope you got something out of it and thought it was neat. And so, like I said, the next one's going to be getting into the PHP and a little bit of the database stuff, probably at least get started at it. And it might go longer, so I might do 30, 45, maybe an hour. Uh, but I go slow enough to where you can take notes easily without having to pause it every couple, like, 15 seconds, like you have to do a network chuck. So love the guy, but he's a little too wired. So everybody have a good night and peace out.